I want to welcome you to this safe place, my friend. I hope you're doing well, and wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Right here currently, it is winter time, and we've got a couple angry squirrels over here that are making some barks at each other, which is really cute. um, so I received an email this morning, and it said, "Is it within you?" And I was thinking to myself, boy, I hope it is. um, today I'm going to be discussing with you Jesus, the Son of Man. I've had this book for quite a while and I've never read it. And there's so much goodness in it, and it's just good to spread. And I can't think of how to pronounce his name right now. I've been practicing it all morning. Khalil Gibran. Sorry, I had to think there. Khalil Gibran. This was written in 1928. And the section that I want to read to you today is section 4 on Mary Magdalene. Her character throughout the Bible is seen in light and dark ways. But just as Jesus had showed up in her life, she was one of those that stuck with him. And it is noted in the Bible of her being by his side when he was bearing his cross. He was also the first to appear to her after his resurrection. And the first to preach to her the good news of the miracle of his resurrection. I think that souls that have been burdened see much more depth and insight once they're awake and aware. So I'd like to read to you. Oh, before I do, I wanted to show you. I wanted to bring this to work, and this cover is so fragile. I think this was a reprint in 1974, I believe. I'm not going to look at it right now, but I think that's what it is. But it was first written in 1928. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to put it in the Walmart bag here. Maybe attach it to the chair. Doesn't blow. Okay. I just wanted to show you this beautiful cover. I would have never known it if I didn't take the cover off. It's like, this is beautiful. Carrying a flame in your hand. I wonder if you hear them in the background. Oh gosh. Okay, I'd like to start with the reading. I'm also going to read a nice little poem from the treasure chest as well. Thank you for joining me. Please sit with me for a few minutes. Thank you. Mary Magdalene. It was in the month of June when I saw him for the first time. He was walking in a wheat field when I passed with my handmaidens, and he was alone. The rhythm of his step was different from other men's, and the movement of his body was not like I had seen before. Men do not pace the earth in that manner, and even now I do not know whether he walked fast or slow. My handmaidens pointed their fingers at him and spoke in shy whispers to one another. I stayed my steps for a moment, and I raised my hand to hail him. But he did not turn his face, and he did not look at me, and I hated him. I was swept back into myself, and I was cold as if I had been in a snowdrift, and I shivered. That night I beheld him in my dreaming, and they told me afterward that I had screamed in my sleep and I was restless upon my bed. It was the month of August when I saw him again through my window. He was sitting in the shadow of a cypress tree across my garden, and he was as still as if he had been carved out of stone, like the statues in Antioch and other cities in the North Country. And my slave, the Egyptian, came to me and said, "That man is here again. He is sitting there across your garden." And I gazed at him, and my soul quivered within me, for he was beautiful. His body was single, and each part seemed to love another part, each and every part. Then I clothed myself with raiment and Damascus, and I left my house and walked towards him. Was it my loneliness, or was it his fragrance that drew me to him? Was it a hunger in my eyes that desired comeliness, or was it his beauty that sought the light of my eyes? Even now I do not know. I walked to him with my scented garments and my golden sandals, the sandals that the Roman captain had given to me, even these sandals. And when I reached him, I said, "Good morrow to you." And he said, "Good morrow to you, Miriam." And he looked at me, and his night eyes saw me as no other man had seen me. And suddenly, I was as if naked, and I was shy. Yet he had only said, "Good morrow to you." And then I said to him, "Will you not come to my house?" And he said, "Am I not already in your house?" I did not know what he meant then, but I do now. And he said, and I said, "Will you not have wine and bread with me?" And he said, "Yes, Miriam, but not now." "Not now, not now," he said. And the voice of the sea was in those two words, and the voice of the wind and the trees. And when he said them unto me, life spoke to death. For mind you, my friend, I was dead. I was a woman who had divorced her soul. I was living apart from the self which you now see. I belonged to all men and to none. They called me a harlot, a woman possessed of 7 devils. I was cursed and I was envied. But when his dawn eyes looked into my eyes, all the stars of my night faded away, and I became Miriam, only Miriam, a woman lost to the earth she had known and finding herself in new places. And now again I said to him, "Come into my house and share bread and wine with me." And he said, "Why do you bid me to be your guest?" And I said, I beg you to come into my house. And it is all that sought in me, and all the sky in me calling unto him. Then he looked at me, and the noontide of his eyes was upon me, and he said, you have many lovers, and yet I alone love you. Other men love themselves in your nearness. I love you in yourself. Other men see the beauty in you that shall fade away sooner than their own years. But I see you a beauty that shall not fade away. And in the autumn of your days, that beauty shall not be afraid to gaze at itself in the mirror, and shall not be offended. I alone love the unseen in you. Then he said in a low voice, go away now. If this cypress tree is yours, and you would not have me sit in its shadow, I will walk my way. And I cried to him, and I said, Master, come to my house. I have incense to burn for you, and a silver basin for your feet. You are a stranger, yet not a stranger. I entreat you, come to my house. Then he stood up and he looked at me as if the seasons might look down upon the field. And he smiled and he said again, all men love you for themselves. I love you for yourself. And he walked away. But no other man had walked away the way he walked. Was it the breath born in my garden that moved to the east? Or was it the storm that would shake all things to their foundations? I knew not. But on that day, the sunset of his eyes slew the dragon in me. And I became a woman. I became Miriam. Miriam of Magdalene. I hope you found value in that beautiful story. Oh my goodness, sorry. Deepak Chopra expresses in his book, The Third Jesus, ordinary perception cannot see the whole, which is why Jesus spoke so much about making the blind see. He asked his followers to develop what has been called second attention, or divine sight. Divine sight. Sight not experienced through the eyes or perception. First attention dwells on the material world. It dwells on appearance, something that fades. Everything changes. Our vessel changes with time. But what lasts? The spirit. The values. Second attention focuses on the essence, what is invisible to the eye but appears to the soul. Mary developed second attention. Jesus helped her see the essence within her own being, regardless of the vessel that her spirit dwells in. I would like to finish out reading from the treasure chest. Luckily, I have another book similar to this that I haven't looked at in quite a long time. Once I run out of things in this book to read to you. This poem is called My Creed. to live as gently as I can, to be no matter where a man, to take what comes of good or ill and cling to faith and honor still, to do my best and let that stand the record of my brain and hand, and then should failure come to me, still work and hope for victory, to have no secret place wherein to swoop unseen to shame or sin, to be the same when I'm alone as when every deed is known, to live undaunted, unafraid of any step that I had made, to be without pretense or sham exactly what men think I am, to leave a simple mark behind, to keep my having lived in mind. If enmity to aught I show, to be an honest, generous foe, to play my little part nor whine, the greater honors are not mine. This I believe is all I need for my philosophy and creed. This is by Edgar A. Guest. I hope you reflect on your creed that gives meaning and purpose to your life wherever you're at. Thank you so much for this gift of listening for a few minutes, and I hope you have a blessed day and week and years to come. Please be good to yourself. Please know and reflect your values. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what your stature is. Just be true to you. I hope you found value in this, and I love you guys, and please take care and shine your light, whatever it may be. Love you guys. Many blessings on your path.